because we are going to put this in tomato and put it in the blender, and then we can put that in the rice with some chicken broth and cook it in a low. We'll let it simmer and until it gets cooked. But it can be the heat can't be up too high, because if not, it'll just burn it. So we're going to do this now. Where's the onion? And I've been told.
How many?
How
many onions?
No, just a piece. I've been told that yellow onions are for cooking, and white onions are for something that might not be too. We're going to use more onions, so we'll just go ahead and go this way. Okay. Now, if anybody there sees anything that can be done quicker, or
Make sure you say how many onions and how many cloves.
I'm just going to guess. I don't know how much onions, or I don't know how much onion. I'm just going to guess, and because I was taught, Mom. We used to watch Mom, and she never measured, and so this is what I was taught to do. So this is what I'm just going to.
Okay, would you say that's a large onion?
I'm not going to put the whole onion in.
Yeah, but would you say what you've got right there's a large? Okay.
Yeah, I would say.
So we'll see how you cut it up.
I'm just going to cut a piece like this and throw this in here. A lot of, and then I'm going to put it over here in the blender. We can do all of that, and and we'll go keep. Oh, okay. This won't go on.
Is that lid on there okay?
This won't go on.
Is that lid okay? That lid's not off. Make sure that lid on there. There you go.
Oh, it's on.
There you go.
Still won't go on.
Everything on this.
Oh, it's tomato.
Just so it's blend pretty good. Let's see if we can get it out. And then we'll put some of this in the rice, and we're going to cook it in this one pan over here. Yeah. Now somebody's going to have to do that for me, because I can't lift it up.
Put it all in here.
After you brown that rice, drain it, or try to take as much grease oil as you can out of it. You brown it with oil, and then you can.
Is that good enough?
Yeah, that's okay. Now then we'll put it back on the heater. This heat.
Put this right here.
Ooh. Oh, this is hot. This is hot, Lola. Be careful. You know, is this the one that's on low? On medium?
This one, you want it on low?
Yeah. Or heat, or medium. Now we're going to stick.
This is the oven right here.
Oh, okay.
Do you want this one here?
Yeah, whichever one. Just as long as we get something going. Just let me know which one.
Okay, we're gonna go
Maybe we should have done that one. But it's going to take a while now to do it. I think one of these had. What is this one, Lola? Lola, this one had heat. No?
This one has a
Let's see this one. No, one of these had high. Let's put it on medium. And that way for sure it won't burn.
This one before.
Huh?
Put it on this one. Very low. Do you want it on very low or medium?
Just medium maybe.
Okay.
And then we'll lower it down.
There you go. There you go.
Was the pan already hot, Lori? Was this thing here hot already?
Yeah, because I just turned it on.
Oh, okay. Now we'll put this, enough tomato and this mixture in there to give it yeah,
More.
just a little bit more. Not too, that's it. Whoop. I think that's too much. I think that's too much.
Where do you put
The broth in there.
chicken?
Mm-hmm.
Go after boil.
Or just so when you do this, that means all the rice is getting saturated with the tomato sauce, the tomato and the onion and the garlic. And then we'll put chicken broth in it.
The rest of
Oh
it?
no, chicken broth. There's a chicken broth.
Can we open it? Or?
Yeah, go ahead. And we could even do this too, and put some of this in there so this will give it some taste. This, on this chicken bouillon, a lot of times if you put it in water before and then let it thaw out, it will, you will mix it in a lot quicker. I'm going to save a little bit of this because I want to taste what this thing tastes like.
What's it? They're being filmed.
You'll have to stick some of this chicken bouillon because that has no taste. The broth doesn't have as much taste as these chicken bouillons have got. And if we put it in there right now, it's slowly going. But like I said, if you put the chicken bouillon in some water, a little bit of water, then you won't have to be trying to break this up in here. But since this is getting warmed up, we'll just go ahead and put it in there right now. And this rice can be put in a pan and put in the oven at 325 or 350. It depends how big the pan is.
Berta, how much water do you have to go over the rice?
You have to put it in quite a bit. You have to put in quite a bit. Wait, let me take some of this rice up. If you're going to put this in the oven, you put this, I'm going to try to see if I can get all that bouillon. And the only way you can tell if your rice is generally going to have any taste to it is if you're going to have to keep tasting the broth until you find out. A lot of this chicken, a lot of this rice is made by real chicken. A lot of years ago, they wouldn't make this rice unless they had the chicken, and then the broth that's what they would use to make the rice. But you could only use the thigh and the leg because the breast has no taste. And so if you ever make it with chicken, only use the thigh to boil and just get the broth. And then you can put it in here. But you have to taste it to see if that's going to be, if you will need any more. And I think this is, we might have to use the other chicken base because thank you, because there's not going to be enough. My fingers are bad. Well, baby, Maybe we should have shook it. Maybe all the broth is down at the bottom, I think. Because they say all the time it says shake, but I don't know if these, I've never used this stuff here.
Just shake them?
Oh yeah, I know why.
Oh,
I know now why. Yeah, like this. And you have to put plenty of chicken broth, because if not, you're going to have to keep adding more juice, and somehow or other it's best if you can have it. And the rice is supposed to be soft and moist, not, well, sometimes it becomes too hard, and that's the reason why is because there's not enough broth. So I'm going to put plenty of broth in there. And if we have to put more chicken bouillon in there, we'll just have to do that, because we want it to have a good taste. Just a little spoon, because I got to taste it to see if it's got enough chicken bouillon.
a spoon?
A little, but I have to do it on my hand.
Oh, you probably better not.
But I have to taste it. I have to taste it. Oh, I have to taste it to see what it. Mother used to do all this. She always had how many of this chicken bouillon, but I never did pay that much attention. I just used to do it on my own, and so now I wished I had paid attention, a little bit more attention. But sometimes we don't do that. And when this finally simmers a little bit, it kind of has to boil a little bit, then you can put it in the oven if you want to. And if you could, it's a lot better to put it in the oven, because that way you can just put it in there and you can, at 45 minutes to an hour, you can check it, and it'll be done. The reason I'm stirring it so much is because I have to break up the bouillon. Now, if I had soaked it, this would already broth. But I have to, as I'm doing this, I can't tell. If you get the broth from the chicken, then you've already know the taste, because you had to take the pieces of a chicken out of the broth, and you already know the taste, so you don't have this problem. But when you have to use bouillon, yeah, you will have to keep tasting and tasting it until you get what you want. Yeah, hopefully that's it.
So when I was talking to Berta about doing this a couple days ago, one of the things she was really excited about sharing different things that you guys do with your cooking, because she wanted to learn herself. So it was really cool to see her. I want to hear how they do it. I want to hear how they do it. I want to hear this. I want to learn this. I want to do this. I want who does menudo, and it was really fun to see her energized all of a sudden. So if you guys have anything over there you want to add on, add on.
Another thing too, I don't know if you got the chicken, the juice, the chicken stock. If you got the one that had salt in it, you probably won't have to use that much of the bouillon. But the reason why is because this doesn't seem to have much taste in it. And I got to keep adding the bouillon until it does get a little bit more taste. I'm going through each one of these little spoons. I'm not using the same spoon to put in there. I'm using different spoons, okay?
I thought that was your secret ingredient. I didn't see you wash your hands before we started, actually.
That's right. You know what? If we had the oven on, we could put this thing in the oven. Could somebody turn the oven on? And we'll just put foil. We'll put foil on it and
What degrees do you want it on?
about 350
350?
or 325, whatever, between.
Okay.
Okay. Now all we have to do is, this is already starting to bubble a little bit. We'll get foil. Okay. And then just put foil on it and then put it in the oven. But now we're going to have to wait a little bit because that oven is not hot enough. We should have turned the oven on earlier, and we didn't. Okay. So I'm going to take this off a little bit. Either that or I'll put it on low and front. We'll put it on low and just keep it there, and then just in about, this oven might take, what, 10 minutes or something to warm up, you think? 10 minutes. And then we'll just put it. Now, I cooked the beans already because the beans take forever to cook, but again, I don't measure anything. So all I've done was to put in salt and a little bit of garlic and let me see, a little bit of salt, of lard, a little bit, and I put in. That's about it. Then the water, you put it in, and then you just let it boil. Some people call this frijoles de la olla, and the reason why is because they don't have that much garlic, you don't have that much lard or shortening. But if you do want to make them with the other shortening or the lard, you can use whatever. You can put them into the pan and do it all over again. Some people can use these beans also to make burritos. I do that. The beans that I have left over, I smash them down, and then I put my mixture of the chorizo and the hamburger meat and the ingredients that I have used for my tostadas and put it in there, and then you can use that also. So you can use that for a lot of little things. That's just like a side dish, like for potatoes that we sometimes take, that we need 1 potatoes. That's just like a side dish, okay? That's it. That's it. And oh, you would put that in there, and then we're going to put it in the oven, and then we just leave it there, and when it comes out, it'll be ready. Okay? So what are we going to do next? Huh? No, not. I think we have to wait like 10 minutes because it's not hot enough. We should have turned it on. It didn't. Is it hot enough, Kevin?
No, I'm going to move this rug right here, Mike.
Okay. Now the next thing we want to do is this meat. And this meat is Boston butt. And this is the type of meat that you also use for tamales. And we cut it in little pieces, and we make this to make tamales, the sauce for the tamales. Or I use this also to use for chili. And that's a green chili we'll be making. And with the tomato and this that we had left over, we can still use this because we're going to use this for our chili. So this is going to have to be cut in little pieces, okay? And then we're going to fry this. And you can either fry it and start it off with a little bit of water, and you fry it, and then later on you can add either shortening or lard, whatever you want to work with. Some people don't like to use that much lard anymore, so it would be up to you. But I will tell you this, that if you use lard, you're going to get more flavor to everything that you used. That's what our family, our parents used years and years ago, and that is how come their food always tasted better than what ours do now. Sometimes some of them do know a little tricks, like Rita over here. They got it from her mother, and her mother worked with my mother, and I guess they combined different recipes, and their food was really, really good. So I think Rita took after her mother, and her daughter's taken after her, I hear. So we got some fabulous cooks around here. And then we also have Teresa and Tina that are just as good. Now, Becky and Lori, question mark on those two girls. But they are learning. They are learning. They are learning. And they'll one of these days they'll make it.
Are you going to cut the meat now?
Huh?
You want to cut the meat?
Yeah, and we're going to cut up this meat into little pieces.
Cut it down here so the camera
Yeah,
can see it.
okay, okay.
Cut the meat down here so the camera can pick it up.
You girls want to cut the meat up? Someone. And we're going to fry this meat. And in the meantime, I can make the chili. And when the meat's all through frying, we're going to, we're going to cut the pieces. I hope I'm not offending anybody over here. I'm gonna have Cassie put the meat in here.
Oh, in there?
So that then she's going to be frying. Would somebody else like to help Cassie cut the meat? Okay, in just small pieces, because when you're at home, you can use bigger pieces. But when you have them, serve them for luncheons or dinners or something like that, you cut them at so that they're kind of like bite size. Okay. And this, you could take that out. I don't know if Kevin wants the whole thing used, but I'm going to show you about the piece, the size of the piece. This also you can cut way ahead of time, and then just have little pieces. And if you can not use too much fat, it'd be good. Now this is about the size of pieces that I want. Okay, like I said, the smaller the pieces are, the better, because you don't want big old chunk pieces of meat. Just like that, just about this size. Okay.
You saved that.
You gonna put it in there, Kevin? Thanks, Kevin.
Are you okay cutting?
Yeah, she probably needs help. Somebody's gonna. Do they have any soap? Do they have any soap? I don't want to say that because I don't know. I don't see any soap around here.
All right.
Can you get it in there?
About tight there?
Yeah, smaller. Yeah.
Smaller?
But if you can get away from some of that fat, it would be best, Cassie.
Oh, it's best to get the
Fat, yeah. We don't need too much fat on it. Can you come off, Kevin? Well, Kevin, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's put it in one of the bigger pans. Rita said she does that at home. We'll put it in. This is going to be let's put it in here, Kevin. Okay. And even if we have to use more foil to put it in there.
Pour it in there?
Hopefully it's not going to be too, can you do it? Hopefully it doesn't come up. Let's hope that's not too much rice and it'll come up. Okay. Now we can put it in there. Now on that rice, after it's all done, sometimes, can you put it in the center, more in the center? The tomato broth, sometimes the tomato mixture sometimes comes up and you'll have tomato looking up on top. But I have seen people, what they do is once that happens, they just dump it in another pan so that the tomatoes on the bottom and the top is just nothing but rice. Okay. So next we are going to do, I'm going to make this, and then,
Rest.
Hmm?
There's a chair here.
For who?
For you if you need rest.
Now I'm going to make pepper, and we can have that ready so that when the not pounds, the bags, the containers, you know, the packages. Yeah. She always thought that was more than enough. And so, but she didn't ever, I don't know if she ever knew or she ever guessed. I don't think so. That there was always extra. But we used to do that. We always used to do that because we knew that at the end we were all going to profit for whatever was left over. Yeah? So that was good. Now I'm going to do some more of this because this is going to go into chili. Okay? And I think I put in all of my garlic. Sometimes you can smell the chili, and boy, that means to tell you that it is really, hopefully that's, and I try to, some people like to not, what's I going to put the pepper in? Does it make any difference, Kevin? What was you going to put the pepper in? This one? Will it stain it? Will it stain it, huh?
You can cook it in that pan.
No, it's going to be more than that.
Bigger than that?
We're going to have to fry meat.
That big one there?
Yeah. Oh, we can put it in here then. Yeah, let's put it in there. And I'm going to have this ready. But I can't.
Clean it off a little bit?
Yeah, but you know what, hon? I can't use this. The heat is up too high on that.
On this one?
Mm-hmm. And I do what a lot of the cooks on the Chew or on a lot of the cook people, they don't use. They're not always changing pans and things like that. They use a lot of their things like that. So all this had was the rice and the tomato deal. So we're going to put this in here, and this is going to be ready. So when the meat is cooked, then that will be I don't know. Somebody will want to have to taste. Do you guys like pepper that's real hot?
Not me so much, but other, a lot of people like it hot.
I'm not too much of a hot person, a pepper that's too hot either. But I'll go ahead and put all of these in there. And now this is when I put my cilantro in there. And I have to thank Ricky and Sue for the cilantro. They give me all the peppers and they give me the cilantro. And I do put cilantro in all my, whether I make salsa or not, I always put cilantro in there. And this one is frozen. But if you buy cilantro that's fresh, you're going to get a better taste. It's going to be a good taste and a better taste on it. So if you can buy a fresh cilantro, then that's good. That's good.
Do you save your bone, Berta? Save the
Yeah,
bone?
you can. Yeah, on the bone on the Boston butt, some people save it up, like me. I save it up, and the reason why is because I make soup out of it, and I use the Now again, on this pepper, some people like to see the green in it, and some
Oh, yeah, that looks good.
and some people don't. I'm going to leave it a little bit,
Stove out real hot?
a little. This is hot. I'm going to leave a little bit.
There's a can of, put it open, there's a can of tomato.
No, I don't think so.
No more?
I don't think so. Kevin, do you want to take some of this pepper home if it's too hot?
Yep. Yep. Do you want me to turn on?
No, these are all real hot. Okay, I think that's good enough, girls. Okay. Now, Lori and Cassie have cut up all the meat, and we're going to put, I start with a little bit of water. I don't know if you should or not, but I'll tell you when I started that, when Jessie had sugar diabetes, the doctor told me to always cook with water. And so that's where I got into the habit of cooking with water. And then later on, this will all evaporate, and then you can put your lard or shortening. Yeah, but salted. I'm going to put salt on it. Put salt and garlic on it. Here, just enough to make it, taste good. Yeah. Just enough. Yeah, just cigar. Do we not have? Oh, he's got. Oh, we didn't bring no garlic.
Yeah, we do.
No, I wanted the powder. Because see, I wonder if I could just throw it in like that.
Can you turn that later real quick?
No, it did. Well, it's gonna have it on from the pepper anyway, so that's good enough. Yeah, I wonder. We're going to put this down on low. We got to put this down on low.
You want this on low?
Uh-huh. I think I'm going to put in another tomato in there because I think maybe it might be too I can really smell it.
Will you put that in here?
Tina, Tina, I am going to have you cut this, open that up for whoever. I'm going to stick it in there.
Okay. Okay.
I put cilantro. Oh yeah, we'll throw some of this fresh one in there. After the pepper's all cooked, we'll put some of this real one in there. Oh, Tina, here. Tina's just used to electric one. How we get used to all this modern stuff. All this modern stuff we get used to. Okay, now let's see. Cassie, is that fire on? We don't have a skillet.
Higher?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, to fry it. We don't have a cover to cover that up.
You should probably put 275. You think it'd be too hot?
No.
275?
Of what? Oh, no. Which one did you try? Oh, no, Cassie. This one is for the rice.
Oh, that's good.
That's the oven.
Oh, the back one. Okay.
This one is for
So the rice down? Oh, you got the rice down here.
Yeah.
But this one isn't hot enough. Because the grease
Which is this?
isn't,
Is this one?
boiling.
Is this one the one? I don't know.
See, that was not. Then it's on.
It's on. Well, you know what? Let's cover this up here. Well, let's see. There. Oh yeah, I can hear it. Now, generally, if I don't have fresh garlic, I use garlic powder. And on my meat here, that's what I would put because what we've got right now is all fresh garlic.
Now, what shall we
And
start
so the beans will start frying, and in a few minutes we'll put some. I want to cover that up.
When it cover, when it do that?
I'm afraid.
Oh,
I'm
you got
afraid.
to put it up.
Oh, okay. Good. And then every so often we'll stir that. We'll stir that. Okay. Those are the things. Okay. Now we're going to start on this fideo, which I should have saved the other tomato that we had left over for the rice. I should have saved it up for this, and I didn't. So we're going to have, and we don't have. Is that tomato? Yeah. Oh gosh, thank goodness. We found another tomato. And if we okay. Well, let's just wait. Yeah, why don't we? Kevin said that the pepper hill. It's okay to have that much pepper. But a lot of the people don't like tomato. Okay, we're going to fry this angel hair. And this doesn't take very long because this angel hair is real fine. We're going to fry it. Should we fry it right here? Can we turn that one on? And then all we have to do to that one too is just like the rice. The same tomato and onion and garlic and the chicken
That's the same.
chicken bouillon.
Making the rice except with rice today.
We have no more chicken bouillon. Oh, yeah, let's see. Let's see that. Oh, good. Thanks. Lifesavers, you guys.
You want oil?
Yeah, Is this one? But we have to keep our eye. Just a little bit. Not too much. A little bit. Just a little bit. That's good enough. Rita, do you have any suggestions?
There's two different types.
Huh?
Remember the ones that this is already cut up into small pieces, and the other one is the foil one. So you brown
Yeah.
both of them.
Oh, that's what I thought. Maybe you had a something that I didn't have to brown it.
Oh, okay.
Because
No.
this
No,
this
you
one,
have to brown it.
yeah, because I was going to say this one is, you have to watch it.
I tell them if they use a coil one, all they have to do is break it up.
Okay, here you go, Cassie. These two. Okay. Now I'm going to make, I'm going to have to use a little bit more of this tomato broth and all of this for the other one. And then I'll just use the other tomato and throw it in for the chili. That way we won't waste any tomato or anything like that. I can't do it. Or maybe one of these, Lola. Whichever one of these will break it open. See, you girls, Lori is learning.
Oh, I've learned.
Lori already knew how to cook. All these girls here, I think, know how to cook. It's just that they were brought up at a different time that we were. So they're all they do is turn buttons and push buttons and it's done. While our parents, while our parents had to do from the very beginning.
How many of these do you need?
Well, maybe about 3 or 4.
Too big?
I'll take like about 2 or 3. About 2 or 3 of those. Yeah. Yeah, because I think it's wonderful. It's just too bad that Mom and our relatives, a lot of them didn't live at this time where they wouldn't have had to have killed themselves doing a lot. I remember Jenny, our oldest sister,
Good enough for another.
just a little small one if you probably found one, having to wash on the washboard. And yeah, and
I used to do that for Mom.
you did? You did it on the
I used to
washboard?
wash the boys' socks. And then there's her razor blade in there. And I cut myself. Washing her dirty socks. Is that good enough?
Yeah.
Okay, there she goes with the onion again.
Well, this is going to be the broth for that rice she's making right there for the angel. This is going to be it. Hopefully I've got them right. Okay.
That lid wasn't on there last time.
That's right. When Cassie's through with that frying that one, then we'll just put this mixture in there, and the rest of this, I'm gonna put it right there. And the rest of this mixture, I'm going to just go ahead and throw it in the pepper. The pepper's kind of hot, so we'll put it in the pepper, and we won't waste no tomato. Huh? The one that I would consider cooking like an awful lot like Mom was our sister Jenny, because she spent looking after Mom and Dad for years and years. And so I know that she cooked with Mom. So she got to know a lot of Mama's little secrets. And now her daughters are doing the same thing, which is good. And the other garlic that I used, I had already been washed and sorted out. That's how come I didn't wash the other garlic. And this one is not. This one is fresh, but I'm just sticking a little dab more in there. I'm so used to just putting a paper towel on top of mine like that, and it works. So that's how come if you ever see me using a paper towel on there, you'll know that's what I do at home. Can I do what?
You think it's all right?
Just maybe a little bit more.
You think it's okay? You think this is ready?
We don't want to, yeah, we don't want to let it get too, we don't want it to get too.
Somewhere like dark, like burn.
It's got a lot of grease in it. Looks like it's got a lot of grease. Wait just a minute. Okay, well, wait just a second, Cassie. Where were we going to put that? That's so bad for that. We're going to have to put it in the oven. We can also put that one in the oven.
You think so?
I said we can also put it in the oven. That one is.
Yeah.
Now Teresa is a very good cook. She won't admit it, and she doesn't want you to let people know. But she was a cook in her husband's restaurant, and so was Kevin. So they know a little bit, not a little bit, I should say a lot, about cooking and doing things. So a lot of times it's good, you know, to know that there's somebody that maybe will steer you the right way if anything you don't know what to do. Is that both of them? Is that both of them? Is that both of them?
Fred Carver told me his daughter's too much.
This is it?
This is the other half over there.
Okay. Oh,
I think I should have put both.
no, it's okay. It's okay. What do we want? I'm gonna take some of the grease out of there because it becomes too heavy if we okay. Now I'm gonna put this in here. Okay. Hopefully, maybe I should put it in there. I'm afraid to use these pans because they don't belong to us.
Put it in there?
Yeah, because they don't belong to us. So that's how come I'd rather.
You put that kind of pan in the oven?
Yeah, we'll put that other pan. We'll put this pan in the oven too. Now we're going to do this angel hair or sopa de fideo. You can either buy this angel hair or what the mom and them used to use a lot of is coil vermicelli, and they're the same thing except that this is smaller, and I think this is more. What would be the word? Well, it would be all smaller, but it would also be more tender. So this wouldn't take that long to cook because it's not something that's heavy or anything like that. Now, I don't know really how to cook that good because I really didn't pay that much attention to Mom. We've got some fabulous cooks in the family. Lazara, for one, cooked with Mother for years while my brother was in Germany. So she knows a lot about cooking and about a lot of Mama's, the way Mama cooked. Another one was Ruth. Ruth, no, how long? We didn't even time it. No, we didn't time it. What happened to the, oh, here it is. I lose all these things if I don't.
Are you gonna put that in?
Yeah. Stick this in. That's one thing you don't want to do. What I done right now. That's it.
You're gonna put that. I find it.
No, not the skillet. This, if you, it's better for you to not have the skillet that hot or anything, because what will happen is your tomato will get too brown. Ooh, can you throw it in, Kathy? We'll get it out of there as quick as we can. See what happens.
Don't get dark.
Here.
Don't get the bottom, just get that.
Okay. We could just get some of this. What happens? Oh, that's okay.
Better go ahead and use it? Okay.
Yeah, what happens is the tomato will burn. So the best thing to do is to take it off a skillet, or not have the pan that hot, which I did. But that's what happens a lot of times. Now our sopa de fidel might have a little strand or two that's dark, but you will know now why.
What, so we don't put no water? How much water in a pretty hard broth?
We don't have no broth. We don't have no broth, do we? Well, we'll just put water.
What do you need?
We'll just put no broth.
Get no broth?
We're just going to put water and chicken base, and that will serve as broth.
Or you're going to put the bouillons in that one?
The chicken bouillon, yeah.
Go ahead and get these. Go ahead and open these.
Now, if I was home, I would take the time and take out all the little dark strands out of there. But since I'm not home, I'm just going to leave them there and hope that everybody closes their eyes when they come to it.
So are we writing down what, are we writing down what? Are we writing down what? Once it gets cooked, you can't see it.
Think so? Think so. How many minutes is that other one in there, Cassie? Huh?
So is that all the water?
Oh, you know what?
That all the
We haven't even done the tortillas.
Huh?
We haven't even done the tortillas. We've been all these and we did, and we haven't even done the tortillas. Oh.
Start off with.
Well, they want to know everything, how to do it, Cassie. You know, I might have to stir that until it starts simmering. Try to break those up in there, okay? Try to break them up. Uh-huh. Try to break them up. Hold on a minute. Can we use these and can we use this for here?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. When that starts to simmer, Cassie, we'll.
You got that simmer?
Mm-hmm. See that? Remember that's how come Nana, when we were. Oh, I better watch what I'm saying. Can you get it? Here, can you get it? There it is. When that starts to simmer, it's good, Cassie. Now we're gonna put the foil. Okay, Cassie, put foil on there, and we're gonna stick this one in the oven again. Boy, this one wants to get burned all the time, don't it? Huh? This one wants to get burned all the time. Okay. Well.
Berta, what did you guys cook for like New Year's Eve? What was your specialty?
Years ago, Mom would have minuelos. That was years and years ago when all of us girls were there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And let's check it out. Let's see. Let's see, Kevin. And they have to be stretched. They're really good, but it takes their. I'd like to see what that rice is doing. See what it's doing. It's not going to fit, Kevin.
Yeah, we can move that rice over to the side.
Be careful, don't get burned, Kevin. What's the rice doing? Oh, yeah. That looks pretty good. Uh-huh.
Is it ready now?
Is this rice good? Let's see what tastes good. Tastes good. Rita, you want to come and see this? Yeah, put it in there. I think that's done, Rita, the rice.
I don't stick that one in the oven.
Huh?
I don't stick that one in the oven.
You don't? What do you just cook
Just
on?
put 'em on the top.
We don't have a pans, Rita. We don't have the pans. I don't know if she would too. And you know what? You're probably right because that one's going to cook a lot faster.
About 10 minutes.
Maybe we ought to put it in here then. Okay? I had seen that. That one. This one. Rita, look at the rice.
Oh, you leave that.
Is it okay? Okay. Now, I don't think we need any more of this, so we're going to stick it over here in this other deal here. Rita says she cooks that up, but it has to probably be in a real low flame. Right, Rita?
Yes.
because it, the rice looks okay.
Are you through with that?
Yeah, because I can't get out. It's too
I'm
heavy.
gonna rinse it off.
Okay. Okay. The next thing he wants to do is,
I'm gonna rinse it off, is that all right?
yeah. The next thing he wants to do is tortillas. I was hoping Susan, they say Susan makes fabulous tortillas. And I was hoping Susan would be here, but she's not here. So I'll try. I'm going to borrow this friend's recipe because, like I said, I do not make anything by measuring. I throw everything in there. So I have no, this has just got to get brown. Oh, this is just about done too. That one? Okay. Okay.
I wanna set this right here
Okay.
in case you need it.
Now this,
Because served.
yeah. Now this is when I put my lard in. Yeah. This is when I put my lard in there. A lot of people do not put lard. A lot of people don't use lard anymore. But like I said, a lot of, what's that? Okay, like Mama would say, un poquito. I'll tell you what, Mama and all the other older ladies all use lard. And they lived to be what, in their 80s, late 80s, 90s, and they all survived, and that's all we lived on to make anything. And lard for tortillas, lard for, and that's how come everybody says, how come our food don't taste like Mama's or whoever? And that's why, because they use they went for the taste, not for what's good for our health. And so that's how come but I always use a little bit of lard, and the reason why is because I think everything needs a taste. And I even used to have a friend, she's passed away now, but she used to make real good tortillas, real good ones, and she used to sell them. And I'm gonna put that in there, then you can take it out when you're through. I'm gonna leave this in here so it drains, and then you can take it out, okay? Oh, well, I better go stay here. She used to make, go back, she made tortillas and she would sell them. And she would cater to lawyers and people like that, and because her food was so good. One time I asked her, what did she do? How did she make her tortillas? She would never give me her secret. She went to the grave without, as far as I know, of telling anybody her secret. But one day I caught her. She wanted me to take her to the, I asked her, she was practically dying by that time. And I asked her one more time, what was it she done that her tortillas were so good? And she told me, come on over and bring your stuff and I'll show you how to do them. Well, she mixed everything the way I do, and then at the end she said, now go get me some warm water. And I went and got her the warm water, and then she said, no, that's not warm enough. So I went back, and when I left to go get the warm water, I seen her grab, it was like a walnut of lard. And that's what her secret was, probably, putting lard in her tortillas, into the masa, to make her masa. And, but her tortillas were always really good. A lot of people don't use lard anymore, but I do. I don't use it that often, and I do use it a little bit, but like I said, after Jesse found out that he had sugar diabetes, they told me to stick mostly with water, and that just the juice from the meat and things like that would give it a taste. So this, okay, I think it's okay too. Is that good enough? I think so. I think now on that, we'll just go ahead and throw this. I think I'll let it cook a little bit longer. There's some pieces, go ahead. If you think it ought to be a little bit longer.
Want to take them off?
Why don't we let it fry a little bit longer so they can get the taste of the lard that put in there a little bit. Okay. Now, like I said, I'm going to follow the recipe of this one friend because, like I said, I do not make tortillas by spoonfuls or nothing like that. I just throw everything in there. And so I have no idea any measurements. But I'm going to follow her recipe. But I will tell you this. Mama used to say that a lot of times your tortillas never came out good because I asked her one time, how come your tortillas, the tortillas are different now than when when she made them? And she always said that it had to do with the flour. And I know that this one lady that I tell you makes real good flour, she uses nothing but, what is it, Golden Knight or something like that? Huh? King Arthur? Yeah, King Arthur. That's the only type of flour she uses. So, and they say that's real good flour. So maybe that's how come her tortillas, this lady's tortillas is good.
Do you want me to pour it in here?
No, I wanted, there's a couple. I have no idea if, hit that thing. Probably my hair is all over my face. I can't see. I'm going to measure it because I don't know how to. I'm going to go ahead by what Mary, where's that little recipe deal that I had on that paper?
6 cups of flour.
And this thing, she says it's only supposed to make a dozen and a half. I can't believe that, but maybe so. And generally, they said you're supposed to sift all of this to really get, so I don't know. I'm just going to guess on this too, 3, because I can't do it right. 4. That is 6, wasn't it? 6 cups. She said 6 cups. Okay, on this. See what she has on there.
3 tablespoons of baking powder.
Now, somebody one time told me that too much baking powder makes your tortillas hard. That's what they told me. I don't know, because I just go with whatever. What's this salt? Salt. There's this. How much does she have as salt? Salt to taste, probably. I'll just throw some in there.
Half of a teaspoon.
I'll just throw some in. To really be truthful to you, that looks like an awful lot of baking powder. But then, that's what she's got on there.
For your 6 cups, wow, that is. Man.
Maybe Susan will still show up one of these days and show us how to make her tortillas.
I heard she's really fast at it.
Yeah, and I heard that she's real good. Her tortillas are always good. So, and I'll tell you what happens with mine. Maybe sometimes mine come out real good, sometimes they don't. So it varies, I guess. But I think if you have measurements, you just about have an idea as to what to do. And this lady that gave me this recipe, her and her daughter sell burritos. So I know her tortillas were good. Now, if it was me, I would just get my hand. But since I'm doing this,
So that's 1 tablespoon.
this is 1 tablespoon.
Another tablespoon.
All this out here. I don't like to work with grease. Okay, and if you want to cut up all of this, shortening, you can use the cutter that you use to make pies or things like that. I don't. I just go with my hand and take it apart. Cassie, you want to throw that meat, that chili, in the meat?
Throw the chili in the meat.
Huh? I'm okay. You can give me some warm water, though, Lola. What does that thing say?
This is 1 3/4.
Yeah, yeah. But she told me that I probably need more than that. I asked her about it one time, and she told me she needs more than that. It's okay, just like that. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, let it simmer real slow. And then you can put it back in that one pan if you want to. Cassie, 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 Cassie. Taste it for salt. What? Taste it for salt. If you need to put salt. Here it is, Cassie. She's got to measure it. What in there? Lori, we'll probably need more than that anyway.
Okay, that's 1 cup. Is that warm enough?
And go ahead. Now, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and give me some more. Yeah, she told me. She told me that didn't that was not the right measurements, because I asked her if those were the right measurements, and she said no. She says, I think you're going to need more water than that. Uh-huh. Tara, did you see how that pepper was made? Did it? Okay. I should have let you make it all by yourself. She loves pepper.
Do you use warm water or cold water?
Or the warm water. Now, I have to knead this. I don't know where to, so I have to knead it. Yeah, but can you clean me a good place? Can you clean me a real good place there? Because I don't have a deal. Yeah.
I'm going to make it dip in that grill.
Huh?
Or in the not that.
What's that?
We're going to make it dip in that grill.
If we can. But there's a, yeah. Now, Mama would be real proud of all you guys. No, I don't. And you can, that's cooking too fast, Kathy. Oh, no, you turned it down? Okay. Lola, I'm going to give you some more water. Okay. Yeah, Mary told me that the water in that book was wrong. She says it's more like 2.5 cups of water, if not a little bit more. But like I tell you, she might measure it. She might sift each cup of flour, and then again she might not. So I really don't know. I never watched her make them, so I don't know.
Are you okay? Do you want to
You can if you want to.
start doing this?
Uh-huh. These tortillas, when you make tortillas, a lot of times the best thing is to make them till the very end, because a long time ago, while people were eating, somebody was always making them, so that it was always fresh tortillas, and the tortillas were just barely made, and they were being cooked at the same time. So a lot of people do choose to make their tortillas till the very end.
Didn't back in the olden days, the women used to make these like every day?
Every day, every single day.
Off the placa. Yeah.
They were really good, because they were right, yeah, that's right off the thing.
How long do I do this for?
Until they get soft, and I'll have to give you this one, and you're gonna have to do this one.
Oh, okay,
And,
this is getting pretty good.
yeah. I gotta make her enjoy doing what she's doing.
We're gonna need us a margarita. Right?
Right?
Whoop. This. Scott. Put too much water in here. I said I put too much water here.
This is probably good.
Okay, I can do it. I can do it.
You can put that in there.
Okay, I can do it.
Tell us another story, Berta.
Huh?
Tell us another story.
Let's see, what story can I tell you? Jesse would tell me.
Give us a story about one of your sisters that are in here, an embarrassing moment.
What?
Give us a story about one of your sisters.
What my sisters?
One of your sisters. Tell a story about one of your sisters.
Let's see.
I'm sure there's somebody in here that wasn't really good all the time. Not going to say any names. Starts with a B.
They used to let me. I told myself, I watch what I'm going to say.
Tell about the grandma on the TV set.
Oh, yeah. One of you girls know it. Uh-huh. The TV set she won from Ed Marley's. Mama won a set for TV Marley's.
Wasn't that Vincent's?
What was it, Vincent's? Okay.
Called Vincent's downtown?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
How did she win it?
A contest of some kind. Usually, after I do this, I put it in a plastic bag and I let it rest for about 5 minutes. Huh? No, I let it rest for about 5 minutes. Kuka used to tell me this. Uh-huh. She said to let it rest for 5 minutes. Yeah, or you know, I had some tea time. Yeah. As the years go by, I've got these, and they turn yellow, even though they're clean, but they've been yellow, and it's because I've used them for years and years and years. But generally, you put this in a plastic bags and let it rest for about a few minutes, and then you make your tostales.
Are you through with this?
Oh, excuse me. And
I went through.
and then you have to have, when you make your little balls, you have to have a board and a palote. And so I bought mine because I didn't know. Cassie, you could turn that off.
Yeah,
You could turn. Did you turn it off?
yeah, turn it off.
Yeah. It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to boil that much. Just a little bit. Okay. What does my hair look like? It feels like it's all over my head.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's okay.
Your hair looks good.
Okay. Okay.
You want this one?
Yeah. Now this tea towel. Yeah, this is my tea towel. Frank used it. one time it was real nice and pretty and clean and everything. The next thing I knew, he used it. And he gave it back to me. I bleached it and everything. You think 5 minutes are up?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay, now on these, you make them like this. And it depends on what size you want them. If you want them big, you want them little. And I'll tell you who makes them, who can really roll at one time. I do not know whether she can still do it or not, and that was Tina. Tina could really roll real good. But like I said, just with her hands like this, I don't know if she can still do it or not. Can you still do it, Tina? Can you still do it? Tina, can you still roll? I remember.
Well, I will try.
I remember one year when Emily got married. We went over down to Susan's, and I don't know how many of us. We have to let them rest for 5 minutes, Tina, because they're going to be hard. You got to let them rest for a few minutes, because if not, the masa's hard. Because you've worked hard, you've worked like this with them. So we got to let them rest for a few minutes. Okay? And we'll wait for a minute. We'll sit down, and then we'll do it in a few minutes. I think Cassie put the placa. I don't think they're ready yet, Tina. She's going to do it. Well, they're not going to stretch, you know, on account of they're still too.
Okay.
Do we need these on there?
Cassie said she was going to get the thing going so she could do I don't know how many all at one time. I don't know where she's at. She's over there. I think we're going to have to let her rest a little bit, Tina. Now, if you're not used to making these things, you can have every state of the union, and that's okay.
Or animals.
My grandpa used to say, when they're going down to your stomach, it's not. They don't care what kind of shape they're in. So go ahead and make them. Did you warm that up? Yeah, she did. No. You said you were going to put them on there to cook them. Okay.
Okay, first, who's going to?
Oh, there's one, Cassie. Cassie, she's not. She can't hear you. Oh, Tina. See, I said, see here, I was talking about lawyers. Here, Cassie. Oh, my. I don't know if these are too small or if these are too big, Tina. Do you want them big, do you want them thicker than that? Do you want them thicker than this, Tina?
It's okay. Since I haven't made tortillas for such a long time.
You know what, Tina? Tina, you don't want.
Oh, I'd rather have it.
Oh, you'd rather have it over there? Oh, okay, okay.
So Berta, if a person wanted to buy a placa, where would they get it?
You know what? I don't know. I think you might have to go to one of these iron places. All of these placas that we have were all donated from Santa Fe, from the workers that work there, all those guys. To be very truthful to you, Guadalupe inherit a lot of stuff that the guys from work, their wives used to tell them, we need this or we need that. And the guys used to somehow or other come up with it. So we would get it.
Oops, I made a hole in that one.
Do you want them bigger than this, Tina?
Huh?
Do you think those are too small?
Oh, it's okay.
Those are too small.
No, that's fine.
Okay,
I just made a big hole in mine.
okay.
As I get started, I haven't made tortillas for such a long time. It's not funny.
I'm going to let those rest. I'm going to have those. I want to put these over here. So these will be a lot easier to roll than those that you're doing there, because those are too. Now, when I make tortillas, at one time I made up to 10 pounds at one time. But generally I make from 5 to 7 pounds at a time.
Oh, okay.
Because I put mine in the freezer. And I don't make tortillas as often as I used to on account of my hands. But a lot of times people will say the food doesn't taste right. And the reason why a lot of times is because the tortillas you buy down at the stores have all got preservatives. And when our parents, we made these have no preservatives. And so that's how come you always find they taste different. And that's why. Now the corn ones too, sometimes the corn ones also have preservatives in them. But that's a lot of times. Now I can't have tortillas from the store, and I'll tell you, I got trouble with my thyroid. And I don't know if it's just me or if it's really true. But it feels like my throat is closing up when I eat store. So that's how come when they have dinners and they make enchiladas, I look at them and I thought, oh, they look so good. But I know then that I'm going to feel like I'm choking. So,
Here's another one.
so I don't eat them, but I love anything. I should have bought another palote. Another thing too, if you're going to make tortillas, you can't have long fingernails because they'll get stuck in the masa, and then you'll have a hard time. That leaves all you guys out, huh? Yeah, they.
Okay.
I wonder how that sopa down here. I wonder what that's like. Did you guys check it?
Check it out. There's nothing there. It's over here.
Oh, it's already. Oh, it's already ready.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's got a lot of burnt stuff on it. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Not too good.
Put these on because that won't get hot enough, so I put these on.
Oh,
I may cook them faster.
okay. I also use a is this one hot? This one's hot, Kevin?
This one right here is probably the hottest right here. That side won't get hot for some reason. I just turned it on for 5 minutes.
Are those done, Cassie? Are these done? Wow, they're hard. These aren't like my tortillas. These aren't like my tortillas. These aren't like my tortillas. They're not like my tortillas.
It's all that lard.
Huh?
All that lard.
No, I don't put lard in my tortillas. No, I put Crisco. But I don't. This is a recipe from a friend, because I just throw everything in there, and I knew.
She had a sleight of hand for you. It's probably
I don't, and then, like I told the girls, she uses different flour, and Mama used to tell us that the flour makes a lot of difference. It's just like everything, you know. You buy good. I stretch mine out more than that. I stretch mine out like that, and then they don't look so thick. Oh, this placas good. This placas good. She needs. Go ahead. Generally, these tortillas, you can stretch them just 6 inches. I've seen them stretched as far as 8 inches. But a lot of times it's the person that's rolling them out that knows what size they really want and what they really need. So a lot of times if you want to make like enchiladas, you don't have to roll them that big. Or if you want to make burritos, the same thing. So it just varies. Wow, this thing is hot. This thing is too hot now. I'm gonna turn this off. Huh? Cassie, is this off? Yeah, this is off. Wow, that placa's too hot. It's soft.
So Berta, refresh my memory. After you make these tortillas, how long do you let them cool off before you package them? And what's the best way to store them?
I make tortillas, and as soon as I get through making them, I let them, I put them in rolls and let them cool off, and then I put them in plastic bags, and then you can have them whenever you want to. Yeah. Huh?
That's another one.
Sit. Really? Oh, that's good. Now that block I had, I lowered it down. I lowered it down. Look, that one folded into. I said that one folded into.
Turn it off. Turn it off. Oh, it's already off.
So that'll be it, Kevin. Huh?
I forgot, have we got plates?
Yeah, we got plates over there.
Oh, I forgot why we had no plates.
Turn this off real quick. The beans will That rice is just, excuse me, probably put this back in.
Okay. That one is hotter yet, even though this one, that block is hotter, even though it been off. Mhm.
Berta,
Yeah,
why are you wiping the towel off, or wiping the tortilla off with a towel?
I'm cooking them faster. I use a pancake. Mine, my tortillas are bigger than this, and mine a lot of times will bubble up. And so that I don't break the bubble and burn my hands, I get the pancake turner, and I go around it like that. But generally, like I said, mine's usually, but this, I do it to cook it faster. That's all. Okay. That's it.
Oh, yeah. Bye-bye memories. There's a lot of memories from when we was growing up and getting together and making food for Mom and then the family. It was nice. I enjoyed it.
Marvin became our half-brother. He was raised, he lived not too far from where we lived at, and his mom and dad were always gone. And, or I shouldn't say always gone, but they were gone. I don't know how often, but anyway, they were gone. So little Marvin came over to play with Tony. Tony and him were the same age, and he came over to play. And he just became our little, like our little half-brother because him and Tony were the same age. And when he would come over, Mom and Dad would feed him, and just like he was one of us. So he was raised with beans and potatoes and all that kind of stuff. And so now whenever has he grown up, he's still our brother, our half-brother. We still claim him as our half-brother. So he's a pretty neat guy. So there's a lot of stories I could tell on Mom and Dad, but I can't remember them. And at my age, what would be the word? At my age, someday I'll remember. And you know, a lot of going to that, we'd always say, Mom, everybody's coming in. Mom, it's not going to have enough to eat. There won't be enough food with all these people coming in. But do you know that at the end, we'd even have to put some in bowls to put away in the refrigerator.
Or she sends them home with you.
Yeah. Yeah, and that just shows you that even if you have a little bit, it's going to go a long ways. So I can remember that so clearly. We could see all these people coming in. How in the world are we going to feed all these people with what we got?
Or fit in the house. Amazingly, somehow or the other, everybody kind of shifted and
we all did.
everybody fat.
So in a way, a lot of times they say, big families, how in the world can they afford big families and things like that? But to me, I look at it as a blessing because there's so many of you that we can help out. And Mom and Dad always said, you always look after one another, take care of one another, because when we are gone, that's all you'll have left, is your family and your brothers and your sisters and all of that. So look after one another, and if somebody says something, don't pay attention, let it go in one ear and out the other. So that's what we try to do a lot of times. Even though our brothers and sisters are real good, nobody better talk about it. Only we can talk about it, not the other ones. Why? You know, they didn't like it. Nowadays, the fathers show a lot more love and everything to the children. Why was that? You know, it wasn't like that with Dad. Even though we knew Dad loved us and we just took care of us and gave us whatever we needed and everything. And she told me one time, she said that your dad's that way because that's the way he was brought up. He was brought up not to show at that time. They were taught not to be that close to their children because the children would lose respect for them. And so that was how come the fathers try to stay away as much as they could because the kids would lose respect for them, which is not true. But that was how come she said to tell me. Because I know one time Richard made the comment, so sometimes. You see some people go up there and kiss one another and everything, and we don't do that. Why? Why don't we do it? I said, well, I myself tried to be more friendly, more of everything. But I said, you know, I think it all comes down to how you were raised a lot of times. Even though we love one another, take care of one another, but yet at the same time, we, I guess that's what we were brought up. The mom and dad were there for us all the time. It didn't make any difference. They'd help us out one way or the other. One way or the other, they'd always look after us and take care of us. And we never knew what it was like to be poor. That was one thing about us. Never knew what it was like to be poor. As long as we were happy and had plenty to eat and everything, we were